Hello everyone, this is Bill PKG and recently I've been to a hackathon in which I developed this particular piece of software which is Solana Multisig Vault. So what exactly it does is it gonna restrict some kind of data, like it gonna be restricting how you gonna modify the data on a blockchain. For some context, let me give you a little bit of context. What I'm talking about is let us talk what exactly is a multisig. Okay, what exactly is a multisig vault? Just like and yeah, beautiful. Suppose we want to make a society. Okay, we want to make a society. To make the society, we need to pass a resolution. Like we need to pass it that okay, this particular society has to be made. To do that, what we'll do is we're gonna write an application. Okay, we're gonna write this an application, and we want the approval of authorities. Okay, this authority gonna sign it. This authority gonna sign it. This authority gonna sign it. Or maybe if there is need for only three signs, then we're gonna take three signs, or maybe if there is need for only two signs, we're gonna take at least two signs. So if these all parties just sign the transaction, sign the approval of the building of the society, then only this society would be built. This is what's multisig. Whenever you need certain amount of people's permission to perform some kind of task, it is the purpose of where we use the multisig. So let me talk a little bit about this particular program, which is a smart contract or a Solana program, if you want to say, and it uses Solana program crate, which is like the very core crate. If you want to have a little bit of background about it, so all the Solana program that runs on chain mean like on the blockchain network, will link to this grid. Like this is the very core. I I would say very core. Everyone is using this. So what I will say is that this is a smart contract, and let me talk a little bit of how this is actually working. Like what is the architecture? So in this case, we had this particular stuff, like we have a application on which you're gonna write the thing that okay, this has to be done, this has to be done, or this guy voted for it, this guy signed for it, like that. In our program, we need to keep track of that. To do that, for like what I wanted was that we could store some kind of information, and it should be associated to you. That information could be maybe a hash of some certificate, or certificate in sense like maybe a Coursera certificate. Okay, or maybe you want to link your driving license, like that. In such situations, it would be very helpful. So what what's up is there is a program running which is this Solana Multisig program, and whenever this user wants to have a multisig, like some kind of multisig operation, he need to create a multisig account on his behalf. Like if he gonna ask this program, this is the program, ask this program, it gonna link his public key and create three program derived accounts. These accounts are completely managed by the program, and only the user can only just look at it, just read. Okay, read. So user is just allowed to read. He cannot on himself just read it. Whenever he want to make some transaction or some kind of modification, he would have to go for the program to do it on his behalf. Great. Now, since the program is very authoritative about how or what could be changed, he can just choose when to change and how to change, isn't it? So that's the particular thing which we gonna harness. That's the particular thing which we gonna harness. That's cool. So what I'll do is I'll create three PDS. This is multisig. This gonna contain the information of particular. Let me add a text field. I close this. Yeah, I can close this. Voters. There would be information of voters, and there is information of min of shines. Not right. In science. Yeah. So that's couple of information it gonna contain. Beautiful. This is the this is what it is. And then this one, this guy, this vault, what it's gonna contain is actually the data, actual data. And there will be there is actually one more thing which is note. Like if you want to store some kind of a little bit of information, maybe you are making some kind of digital certificate, maybe Coursera certificate, and you want to attach some kind of other identity, maybe Aadhaar, so you can add your Aadhaar number up here. If you are foreigner, maybe I can say is maybe some kind of national identity number. Okay, so you want to do that. So there is a note and there is a data. Yeah, great, great. And this in progress, this account actually keep track of h- how many actions, like what access, like ID of actions, I would say, ID of actions which are in progress. Okay, like there could be multiple. So I just created in a way because I just don't know. Maybe I thought maybe keeping it on blockchain would be a good idea. So I didn't get a very good use case of it yet. Maybe if there is not, I will love to remove it. Okay, great. So what happens is that this is the structure. Now suppose you want to maybe do the modification in this vault. Okay, you want to do the modification. So what you're gonna do is you either you either you as a user or maybe someone in this voters list. Someone in this voters list, maybe this guy. One more thing I will tell is voters list. Okay, that's a very full handwriting. So in this voters list, every voter at got like three and like maximum three permissions, I would say. The first is to propose. Okay, that, let's see. Yeah, propose. Second one is to vote, and lastly there is to execute. That's cool. So they can either vote, propose, or execute. That's cool. So anyone in this anyone in this voter list with propose permission can propose an action. The action would be what has to be done. Okay. So when the action starts, like when you're gonna propose an action, there will be two more program derived account created and it will be created on his behalf. Like his public key would be used. So yeah. So his public key would be used and there will be an action ID. Okay. Which will be attached to it. Great. So there is an action ID and yeah, there's an action ID which will be attached to it and the uh, two PDF would be created, program derived account. And the first PDA will actually contain the information about what action has to be taken place. For example, if you want to modify this word, then this one this one will have like edit data action. So this is the thing which gonna be there. Once it is like done, it is beautiful. Let me just delete this arrows. So great. Okay, so once these two accounts are created, this gonna contain the data of what action to be taken, and this gonna be collecting the votes. It gonna go to the voting ground. Okay, like it doesn't work in the way like that. It is always there. You can vote whenever the account is created. But just for intuition, it goes to the voting ground. Okay, great. Now what will happen is once this is there, this guy gonna there go there be like, this is my vote. This you as a person will go this way. Not what was intended. This you will go from there far and vote up here. Beautiful. That's good. That's good. So there are now two votes, isn't it? Two votes. And suppose for minimum number of votes required was 2. Okay. So if this minimum number of votes are done, like number of votes which were needed was fulfilled, then what you can do is you can move this for execution. Okay. It will just blend in this. That's why I kept it a little separate. Now, like it won't happen in its on itself the execution step. Someone has to just go and ask it to execute, like create a transaction to execute this, and then the execution happens. That's cool, simple as that. So let me give you a little bit of good 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 stuff. Okay, that's that's the whole whatever. I'm using a local laser for it. Okay. Now let me just deploy this program. The program is deploying and it is deployed. Great. Let me just we will use two accounts. So I'll use my yeah. I can check balance with this, I guess. Well, Solana, not local. Config Solana. Yeah, I did not JSON. So this is lot because whenever the local agent start, it gives lots of soul to your main account, and there I have another key which is test.psm. It got 0 soul, so we gonna just airdrop some. Let's give it 5 soul. Great. So we are ready with it. I've written, let me give you a little view of what's inside, what we gonna run. So I've created this script. This is a test script. Yeah, great. This is a test script, and there are a couple of steps which would be executed. This is the create multisig. First, the multisig would be created, then the action would be created, like proposed, and then voter 1 will vote, voter 2 will vote, and the task would be executed. Great, cool. And couple of things to note: whenever you want to execute these are the JavaScript files. You can see here is a JavaScript file which is being executed. Whenever you want to execute, there are 3 environment variables needed. There is the prog, which is the ID of program. There is the public key of key pair of first user, key pair of second user, like that. It's just for testing purpose. Just for testing purpose. Great. So click on just do it. Actually, I did run it, and when you build it over, like you without cleaning the ID of program remains same, you can see. Cool. This is the my public, like my key pair. Great. And there is the another key pair, which is the test one, and boom, boom, boom. Yeah, cool. So what happens is, you can see there is the creation. You can check this stuff if you want to. Just click on this link. You can see the transaction and much more information. Hmm, great. So this is the creation. This is the proposal or initialization of action. The first keywords, the second keywords. Great. And then the execution takes place. Great. You may ask me how many. Let me. Yes. So what was the data? So two keys were needed. There are two permissions. One is actually the permission for the own account is not needed. Okay, so up here I did add an extra key pair, like key pair 2. So its permission is up here. There is no need for two permissions. Cool. I'll commit it later. Great. That's great. Then that's cool. So you may ask me, Piyush, what happens if there is not two permissions? Like two people didn't vote, only one person votes. What should happen? What could go wrong? Let me just start my lecture again. So we have a clean moment. What I gonna do is first of all airdrop this guy. Then I gonna deploy my program again. And this time let's let's execute it. That's it. Simple. The multisig gets created, the data gets initialized. Up here you can see the execution fails. Why the execution fails? Votes gained 1 and votes needed 2. The execution is immature, the immature execution. That's the thing which is stopping. That's cool. That's all the purpose of it was, like, if there is less number of votes, the thing won't happen. Okay. If you want to try it yourself, just I have posted. It is on DevNet. Okay. Wait. One more thing I would like to show you is that, say, yeah, lots of instructions, not very lot, but yeah, file is a little big for me to just show everything. Okay. Just I cannot take you to every single step for now, but I would like to show this one because this is what actual communication is happening, like what is being stored. Okay. See, there are three permissions. One is to initiate, vote, and execute. And these permissions are related to here, which is the multisig account, which I talked about previously. And there is the minimum number of sharings, items, creators. There is a vault on which we can just add something. For some reason, I stored the public key of creator. And there is the node. There is the data. If you don't know what is bump, just leave it for now because it's really constrained to how PDA works. Okay, so there is the data, there is the node in which you can write some kind of string, there is the data. Data would be a vector of U8, like vector of bytes. Great. There are a few of the actions which I did add. This is the cool one, which you may wish to look at. And there are three other accounts: the multisig action, multisig voting, in progress, multisig. Like you remember, in progress was there. There are two accounts which gets created. There is the action ID, which I did talk about because action ID is needed, isn't it? Well, that's all. That's all for today. Thank you.